Kamala Harris recently delivered a strong critique of Donald Trump, drawing a sharp contrast between him and President Joe Biden. Harris framed the 2024 election as a battle between Biden's commitment to everyday Americans and Trump's focus on personal gain. One of Harris's main points was Trump's handling of the January 6th Capitol riot. She criticized Trump for failing to condemn the rioters and for continuing to refuse the results of the 2020 election. According to Harris, Trump is stuck in the past, still making baseless claims of election fraud rather than focusing on the future. This, she argued, shows a dangerous disregard for democracy and the rule of law. Harris also took on the issue of abortion rights, pointing directly at Trump's influence on the Supreme Court. She criticized his appointment of justices who helped overturn Roe v. Wade, which has led to a wave of restrictive abortion laws in many states. Some of these laws are so extreme, they don't even allow exceptions for rape or incest. Harris warned that a Trump return to the White House could result in a nationwide abortion ban, a troubling possibility for many voters. In contrast, Harris highlighted Biden's achievements, particularly in terms of job creation and infrastructure. She noted that while Trump talked about improving infrastructure throughout his presidency, Biden actually delivered. She emphasized that Biden has created 15 million jobs, including over 800,000 in manufacturing, demonstrating that his administration is committed to improving the lives of working Americans. Harris positioned this as evidence that Biden's promises made, promises kept approach is more effective than Trump's rhetoric. Harris also made the election about more than policy, framing it as a choice between democracy and authoritarianism. She pointed out Trump's admiration for dictators and authoritarian leaders and noted that he has even joked about becoming a dictator himself. This, Harris argued, shows that Trump's return to power could threaten the democratic principles that the U.S. is built on. She positioned Biden as the candidate who will defend democracy, while Trump's leadership would put it at risk. The media's reaction to Harris's remarks was intense. While some Democrats have expressed concerns about Biden's ability to perform well in future debates, Harris has been a staunch defender of the administration's record. In fact, some polls suggest that Harris might do better against Trump than Biden, sparking speculation that she could lead the Democratic ticket if Biden chooses not to run. Some Republicans have even admitted they would rather face Biden than Harris, highlighting the growing recognition of her political strength. Since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, Harris has become a prominent voice on abortion rights. Many within the Democratic Party believe that her leadership on this issue could energize key voter groups such as young people, Black voters, and those dissatisfied with Biden's handling of foreign policy, particularly the Israel-Hamas conflict. Harris has a unique ability to connect with these voters, which could prove crucial in a tight race. Despite her growing influence, Harris faces challenges. Some critics argue that her progressive policies could alienate moderate voters. Additionally, her tenure as vice president has had its share of difficulties, and Republicans are already preparing attacks. Some of these attacks carry racist and sexist undertones, reflecting the persistent challenges women of color face in politics. However, many Democrats see potential in Harris's background as a prosecutor. They believe that her experience in the courtroom would give her an edge in a debate with Trump. Her ability to question and hold him accountable could be a powerful asset. Moreover, her ability to energize key voter groups could be critical in a close election, particularly if turnout is a deciding factor. As the 2024 election approaches, the question of whether Biden or Harris will lead the Democratic ticket remains open. While Biden has announced his intention to run, the growing speculation around Harris reveals an underlying unease within the Democratic Party. Some party members believe that Harris may be better positioned to take on Trump, given her strong stance on critical issues and her ability to connect with diverse voter groups. Harris's communication style is another key factor in her appeal. She has a direct and relatable way of addressing complex issues, breaking them down into terms that resonate with regular voters. When she speaks about the economy or healthcare, she doesn't just throw out numbers. She explains what they mean for families struggling to make ends meet. This ability to simplify complex issues could serve her well in the campaign. Ultimately, the 2024 election is about more than just who will sit in the Oval Office. Harris has positioned the election as a referendum on democracy itself, asking voters to consider what kind of country they want to live in. Whether it is Biden or Harris leading the Democratic ticket, the stakes are incredibly high and every vote will count. As the election season unfolds, voters will need to carefully consider the candidates' positions and what is at stake for the future of the country. The choices made in 2024 will shape the direction of the nation for years to come, and Harris is making it clear that the consequences of this election are too important to ignore.